pestanya i ara ficar un pont de soldadura. Quarter to 7 in the morning. Everything's already packed up and put away. The bag with clothes, the cameras, everything's locked up. This was my hole for the night. And right in front of it is the village with this hill full of holes. This is where all these people lived 3,500 years ago. Incredible. And some still live here now. Here's one that collapsed. Only part of the back room is left. And down here there are more. You can see a chimney vent over there. So there are 3 or 4 more down below. And that whole hill full of them. Wow. You wouldn't think so, but there are people here. It's stone. Pretty easy to dig into. And that's why they burned fires inside, leaving the walls covered in soot, so snakes wouldn't come in, and also to give the walls more consistency. All right, now I'm waiting for the guy from UNESCO. We're going to do some drone filming for the video they'll present to see if this village is chosen as the best of the year. Later, I'm meeting up with the old man who rented me the hole, because he's going to have breakfast ready for me. All right, let's go. After loading the quad and getting everything ready to leave, I headed to the grocery shop of the old man who rented me the hole in the mountain. They had breakfast ready for me. Some eggs and bread. Perfect. After visiting the village and loading everything up, I was about to continue the trip when I met Saeed, an Iranian who travels by bicycle. I'm in Meymand, where I spent the night, and I met Saeed. He's Iranian and he's traveling on this bike. He's been on the road for 22 months. He's gone through Turkey, and now he's in Iran. And he spent in 22 months 25 million tomans, which is about 70 euros in 22 months. He doesn't spend anything on sleeping. And for food, he just figures it out. Or people invite him. On the first stretch of the mountain track, I came across a couple of shepherds. The last one had a huge flock of sheep. What caught my attention was the fat on their buttocks. Basically, they have big butts for these arid areas where sometimes food can be scarce. So the sheep store extra fat there so they can use it if needed. Amazing nature. I looked it up online, and the names I found were Gisar sheep. But there's also a breed called Karakul. The name Karakul sounds like it's from the Catalan language. And I'd rather not say the meaning in Catalan.
La nota, ¿no?
Monday. It's about 10 o'clock. I left Meymand, where I slept in a hole. It's a village just like this one. I came across a settlement, abandoned, where they also made troglodyte holes. They call themselves troglodytes. 3,500 years ago, they dug holes in the hills, and inside those holes they slept. They made several for different families. I slept there, in Meymand, which is behind that hill over there. Yesterday I arrived without planning to stay. but I met an old man who ran a small grocery shop. He came out with a key and walked me to one of the holes where he had a padlock and rented me the hole. I slept there. I slept fine, nothing special. Not bad, but nothing extraordinary either. We had breakfast this morning and that's it. Back on the road. I found this place. Oh wow, look at this. But why do people make fires and leave their trash on the ground? Same thing, huh? The whole upper part, black with soot to make it stronger and to keep snakes away. Beautiful, huh? In the end, this is rival village to the other one, but this one hasn't been restored. Nobody lives here. It's much smaller than the other. Maybe if they manage the other one well, they'll later bring life to this one too and restore it. The one even has a window. How nice. And what's over here? This is where I was, but up top, and the quad down there. Very interesting. 3,500 years. What must this have been like? You can just imagine the purpose and the life this village must have had. Really interesting. Now let's go on. It's funny, this bush, huh? This bush looks like it has almonds. What the heck is this? If they served it on a plate without showing you it's a bush, you'd say they're almonds. What is it? I don't know. But they sure look like almonds. They really do, right? They look like almonds. Nice. When I was coming up the hill, I saw a little ball. If it's a rock just hanging there with the wind or a tree, I'm not sure. Let's see if I can get there, and if not, I'll send the drone. Leaving Meymand, I had mapped out some mountain route, all planned out via satellite because I hadn't found any info. It was a route through that whole mountainous area, mountain desert. It was very likely it would be a really nice route, and it actually was. So, leaving Meymand, I headed toward Darhuni, Rashvan, Ahmedabad, and then continued toward Rafsanjan, all heading east up to Kerman. And finally, yes, from Kerman I went toward Kalut because it was a very important stop to visit and it really was worth it. The mountain stretch was so much fun, a really beautiful track between mountains where you could ride fast and hit a really fun speed. There was even a section where I came across lots of antelopes. So cool. It really surprised me. The first time I thought I just got lucky, but then I found 2 or 3 more groups. So beautiful. I was so excited because the antelopes ran across right in front of me on the track, and I had time to pull out my phone and set it to video, but I didn't hit record. What a shame. But then a few more came up ahead, but since they already heard the quad, they started running. And they started running and crossed the track. 4 of them crossed, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the others I didn't even see, but they must have gone back. Wow, what luck. I grabbed the camera and don't record them. Oh man, next time, because there are tons. I made 4 turns and there they were again. And those were the second group. So beautiful. Let's go. Look, now, yes, look how they're coming down there. Look at them. They are moving fast. and how they're climbing up here. Look at them. Look, so beautiful. Look at them. Look how they're going. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 or 12 must be. 12 of them. So beautiful. This is another group. Because the ones that passed before were 4. So beautiful. Wow. This time I think I recorded them, huh? A bit far, but I got them. But wow, there are so many. Unbelievable. In the end, it was 3 groups. 3 groups in less than a kilometer or 2 at most. So beautiful. Come on, let's go. Nepal is waiting for me. The route is gorgeous. Too bad that a while ago I realized the chassis holding the rear boxes broke. Too much rough riding. And it broke, and it's holding on just by a broken tab. But I need to quickly find a place where they can weld it, because the tab that holds the whole rear tray, where the boxes are with a lot of weight, is broken. And I'm scared. I'll have to fix it as soon as I can and reorganize the rear luggage and possibly get rid of some things. Dump some stuff, since I've already done more than half. I can ditch some things now. But as usual, I'm a very lucky person. In less than an hour, I managed to get out of the desert and find a road. And from the road, just a few kilometers later, I reached Ahmedabad, where right by the roadside, I was able to weld the chassis. So here it is. My chassis is falling apart. It's touching the exhaust pipe. And that's because the rear support broke and it's pushing the whole chassis down. And it's burning the plastic each time because the chassis broke. So I'm at a car shop. Let's see if we can understand each other so they can weld it. Because the first one broke, the second one also broke, and hanging on as best as it can. And I realized it because hitting bumps, the wheel was touching here, the tire was touching here, and I also smelled burning and the plastic was melting. Well, small setback, we'll fix it and head toward Nepal. It's almost 1 o'clock. I'm waiting because on the other side, those closed doors, they'll help me fix the problem, supposedly. They have a welder there. And the thing is, I found out that part of the subframe broke, the one that holds the boxes. The boxes, and in the end, the luggage was also affected. And that made the protective plastics, the most visible part of the quad, the front and rear fenders, the rear ones, sagged. When they sagged, they touched the exhaust pipe, which melted part of the plastic with the heat and, besides smoke, a smell. It has to be fixed, because if the one on the other side breaks too, then the solution will be much more complicated than now. And that means I'll have to take all the rear luggage off. And up here in front, I'll have to take this apart and disconnect the battery so they can weld without damaging anything. And this part here in front will be the trickiest. The rear is work, but the front is also fiddly work, because everything is packed so tight, it'll be really hard to access the battery and disconnect it. Once I have it disconnected, we can do all the repair. He's welding the tab. Here I've opened this whole area where I disassembled the entire lower tablet mount and disconnected the positive terminal of the battery. Now he's welding the double tab. This is the front part, and you can see the tablet rests here, the tools, the tablet, and a bunch of stuff. This suitcase also had a wheel break a few days ago. The other one is still fine, but I have to drag it. I'm where I was 2 hours ago, but with the quad welded, I can keep going. I was thinking about going to Kalut, which is a very beautiful place to camp, but I'm not sure. I'll head down, see how the day goes, and when I get to the point where I have to turn toward Kalut, which will be east, and do 300 more kilometers, or go south, I'll decide then, if not along the way. For now, it's undecided. Let's see how the day goes, how I'm feeling, see if I run into any more issues. If everything stays the same, we'll see what the decision is. Come on. It hasn't rained here in days. Let's go ahead. It's been a while since I left Kerman. I reached another village. I can't remember the name now. By a road so small, nobody was much passing by. I wondered, where does this even go? The road was heading east. To the right, there was only desert, and more desert. And on the horizon, I saw some little lights at the very end, and I thought, let us see what that is. And it turns out, besides those lights, there was a plane. Yes, a plane. There was still light, even though the sun was already setting, and you could clearly see the white fuselage. Mahan Air. Right here, a car just passed. And where I am now looks like a roundabout. At the end of the roundabout, to the right. Amazing. But how did they bring it all the way here? There's no runway nearby. I checked, but there's none. I don't know how they brought it. Crazy. It's small, yeah, but still impressive. Maybe they even landed it on the same road. Unbelievable. Monday night. Interesting day today. I woke up after sleeping in a hole in Meymand, an ancient troglodyte construction from 3,500 years ago. Very cool, really worth visiting. Then I did some really nice tracks. I found another village of the same style, with holes in the wall, smaller, and abandoned. And Kalut, the Kalut desert, it was something planned to visit. But there's a very long track that would have stretched my entire trip through Iran by another 400 or 500 kilometers. Plus, it was a track with an unexplored dune area never visited. And going there alone is complicated. Because if, with so many kilometers of dunes, you make a mistake and get stuck, you can lose a lot of time. And they'd even have to come rescue you, losing 1 or 2 days. So I ruled out that route. But in Meymand, talking to people, they told me it's the most beautiful place in all of Iran, that I couldn't miss it. So I went anyway. I arrived at night, 2 hours late, 2 hours driving in the dark. And to top it off, the high beams didn't work for some reason. I'll check it tomorrow. I had to stop and pitch the tent in the dark, which is not recommended, and I really don't like. But I did it, everything ready. Now I just have to find out tomorrow where I camped, because I can't see anything. There's not even a full moon. And with low beams, you can't see absolutely anything. I think it's going to be spectacular. In the morning, I can see the silhouette of the mountains next to me, and I have a feeling tomorrow morning will be incredible. And I'll be able to fly the drone. Tomorrow should be the second to last day in Iran. The day after tomorrow, to be on track, I should already be entering Pakistan. This time I won't run out of water. I brought 5.5 liters. I've drunk 2. I've got plenty. At most, I'll drink another tonight. It's so hot, I don't even open the sleeping bag. Just the mattress and the liner, which I use as a pillow and nothing else. Let's see if I can sleep, because with this heat, I didn't even put up the rainfly. Here, the stars look spectacular. I can't really capture them with the phone, but it's incredible. Tonight I have a 1,000-star hotel. Let's see if I can sleep in this heat. Good night.